Hey Matt, on the little video clips that were sent out before the St. Mary's game with you, you said something about wanting to win to get back in the rankings. So you win big. It's on national TV, and you actually drop a spot. What's your reaction to that?
It is what it is. You just gotta take it on the chin and keep moving. Like I said at the beginning of the season, rankings never really should matter. And once you're close, yeah, you want to win games to get there. And winning games is how you get there. So we just got to take it one game at a time and do our best to win.
I know you watch a lot of college basketball. Do you believe there are 9 Big Ten teams that are better than your team right now?
I believe that they've played themselves into a position to have the ranking that's better than ours. I think we don't have control of the rankings. We don't have control of who's better than us, who we think is better than us. All we can control is going out there and playing 40 minutes of basketball and playing whoever's in front of us.
I also want to ask you about I asked Jordan this too about this layoff. You struggled out of the gate against BYU after an eight-day layoff, and now it looks like you're going to have 11. What do you think you'll do differently? How will you try to combat
that? Keep high intensity in practice and climb into guys and let guys know that this is the time to relax and take a load off and not pay attention in practice and kind of just let your just mentally fizzle out. You got to stay locked in for these all of these 11 days, and we had a couple of these days off. But now getting back into the swing of things, we just got to stay locked in, stay together, and just know that we have to come in with the same intensity that we came into St. Mary's, and knowing that we came off that 8-day layoff from BYU and how that loss felt, and how it felt to lose a game that we felt we should have won. So it'll definitely be tough, but we just got to stay together and just know that we got to stay locked in.
Hi, Matt. A couple questions for you. First, in regards to your quick start against St. Mary's, Terrell Gomez had mentioned that the fact that you guys got out and ran and got buckets in transition was a big factor in your quick start. Do you think you're a better team when you are able to run in transition?
Definitely. I think in transition we have a lot of options. As Jordan said, just earlying up the ball, I think that gave us a lot of early looks. One-on-one. I feel like these guys could break anybody down. It doesn't really matter who it is, and we could get a bucket. So definitely moving that ball up in transition, getting the ball ahead early and up, no matter who it is. I feel very comfortable.
And Matt, with teams in the Mountain West having to go on pause, Colorado State, obviously, UNLV, and even teams here in San Diego, USD's men's, your SDSU women's program, yet you guys have done a great job in not having to have a pause yet, knock on wood. How proud of the guys are you that this has not happened to your team yet?
Very proud. There was an instance earlier in the year where we had to take off 2 weeks. There was a couple guys on the team that had it, and we came together. I came to the guys separately, and then came to them together and just let them know that this isn't the time to friend and feel like you can do what you want to. This is the time to lock in and make sacrifices. And they made those sacrifices, and it's shown. So I said at the beginning of the season, I think that the team that'll win is a team that stays healthy. I mean, we've been healthy and we have a winning record, so it speaks for itself.
And from a player's perspective, how hard is it to make these sacrifices that you have had to make? Is it quite a challenge, or is it really not too bad because during basketball season you're pretty focused on basketball anyway?
I think with age it becomes easier. I'm old now, so I don't really care to do the other things in life. Do what the young guys want to do. And so maybe for some of the younger guys, it becomes a sort of a task to not go out. But for me, it's rather less easy.
Well, you hide your age well, Matt. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Nice replica, Paul.
Hey, Matt. I wanted to ask, you had some, would be the generous terms, some calls that went against you early, offensive foul calls and things of that nature. And what was your thought process with being able to stay aggressive? And, now you've been getting to the line quite a bit and those calls seem to be going the other direction. And so just what was your thought process and how were you able to kind of fight through some of that?
My thought process was to stay aggressive. I know that, there's calls that do go your way. There's calls that don't go your way. But of course there's things that I shouldn't do. There's plays where I get myself into trouble, maybe doing something and putting my head down at one point, and it's a smaller guy and I shouldn't put my head down. I should just pull up, raise over the top. But there's just a lot of things that I got to think about differently. But at the end of the day, it's just still staying aggressive because I can't change my game and become conservative and become nervous to go in there now because they're calling that call. I got to play my game and stay aggressive and just know that the refs are going to do their best to make the call that they see in front of them.
And then being, an old guy that you just said, Colorado State has a young guy who trying to look for a comparison. David Roddy, a young Matt Mitchell would be a good comparison. Inside, outside, bigger guy. Just, your thoughts on the matchup with him.
Yeah, I really respect Roddy in his game. Last year, going into the game, we knew that he was a freshman, but we didn't know too much about him. We saw the previous games and was able to watch film on him. But he's a guy that you can't really get a feel for until you play him, and I feel like it's kind of the player that I am. You can't get a feel for it unless you play me. And you actually get those minutes and you really realize how much of a toll it'll take on you down the stretch of a game. So I think Roddy has the ability to wear people out, and with his size, his strength, his will to get to the basket, his mid range, his mid post up game. So I really respect his game. He'll be somebody that'll be a force to be reckoned with as his years go on in this conference, and I look forward to the matchup.
You've seen more Mountain West games than a lot of guys on your team. You're opening up conference play for the last time as a San Diego State Aztec. I mean, have you given it any thought of the last 16 games and what they could mean for for you?
No, I haven't given it too much thought. I think going into this, I'm trying to live in the moment, soak it up while I can, and worry about it being done when it's done. So I'm trying to make this last as long as it can, and extend my season is all the way to the end. So I'm not really worried about it being my first start to the conference, but I do think that it's nice that I've been here 4 years, and I'm blessed to say that I've been able to see all 4 of these starts.
And you're one of the team leaders as well in minutes. What do you think of this just back-to-back, 2 games, 3 nights, and the toll that could potentially take on you, not just in this upcoming series, but for the rest of the conference play?
It's kind of like Jordan, like I said as well at the beginning of the season. It's going to be like a chess match. See who can do what down the stretch, and especially the second game. Who can do what down the stretch, and what players can maybe break off of a play and create something for their team, because I feel like Colorado State is also a team that scouts really well, and going into it, they're gonna know our stuff, and we're gonna know their stuff as well. So coming down to it, it'll be a chess match, and it should be fun to say the least, because just like Dutch, I feel like Colorado State is a really good team in our conference as well.
Matt, I want to ask you about this program really has a next play mentality. You hear it a lot. What does that mean to you, and how much has that helped your game as you've grown over the years?
Next play to me means kind of forget about it, more or less. Not really forget about it. I wouldn't say go and do the same thing again, But definitely forget about it. And it's helped me in the sense that kind of like today in practice, you're scrimmaging and you have a turnover, you throw a turnover. That next play mentality is okay. Turn around, get in the shadow. Because we shadow, and if you lose your concentration, lose your focus, and you're worried about a play, you're not up shadowing full court, which could lead out to an open three, open layup for the other team. And so it's kind of just trying to stay locked in, not only to the game, but to the game entirely and everybody on the court, but to your game as well. Trying not to force yourself into a rut, and maybe falling into a funk, worrying about that play. You might come down next time and miss that shot because you're worried about the turnover you just made. So it's just kind of forget about it, but not forget about it.
Is there a moment from when you played a lot as a freshman, and freshmen usually hear it more than older players do? Is there a moment you remember in your mind that it was said to you and it kind of clicked, like, okay, I got it?
Yeah, probably over the multiple turnovers I had as a freshman. Yeah, we're a good defensive team, but as a freshman, you're more susceptible to making turnovers and causing havoc on the court. So I definitely heard that a lot. I think maybe in practice is where I heard it most. And of course, you're going to hear it in practice. You hear the coaches all the time. But I think I definitely just think I don't remember one instance. But I do remember Jeremy Hensley ball hawking me all over the court sometimes. So I definitely had some long practice days.